Okay, the last video was a bit of a mess. It was filmed over a couple of months with a couple of different cameras and my phone, and probably come across as really choppy. Hopefully this next video will be a little more complete and smoother. But last time we basically replaced the fuel line right from the tank to the carburetor. Got the car running, but it was a little rough. The next step is probably a carburetor rebuild. So I got to get a kit, clean it up. I'm not really familiar too much with carburetors. I played with them a little bit, but I'm more comfortable with fuel injection. Carburetors, gas and air go in, magic happens, it runs. So I'll have to learn on that. Also replaced the rad while we're at it. It was a little, well, the top was, where the cap goes in, screws on, was broken and has split in it. So I had another rad, I put it in, but when I drained the old rad, the water antifreeze sludge that came out of it didn't look good. So I need to flush the block, but it is February and I don't have any heat in my garage, so I need to warm up a bit so I can get my garden hose out and flush the engine block out. So for now, the rad's in, just not hooked up. Fuel line's hooked up, just need to rebuild the carb. So we moved on to the interior of the car. Now I pulled the carpet in this front seat out, and as you can see, it's really good solid floors. There has been a patch on the passenger side of the back. It looks good on this side. On the other side, whoever did it never trimmed it, so the old floor is still kind of, you can see where it's peeled away and the patch is underneath. So I've cleaned it up from underneath. The inside looks good. It's all good and solid. So what I'm going to do today is so I got that seat out. I'm going to take the back seat out and I'm going to work on some electrical maybe. I got underneath the dash. I got a new battery in the car, but I got, like, my wipers don't work. The the blower motor doesn't work. So I'm going to start doing some electrical stuff, find out if it's just fuses or see blower motor, whatever. And I'm probably going to pull the heater core out, because I'm assuming it leaks because it's been bypassed. So pull it out, get it working, like check the blower motor, get it working, see if it leaks. And I think I have a spare, came with a spare parts card, so I'll have to see if it's any good. But that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to clean the interior up, or at least like start working on the interior. I'm going to replace this dash pad too. I have another one of those because it's kind of cracked, and as you can see, someone's tried to pull it out here. It's all mangled and stuff. So do that, and maybe get the windshield installed. Right now it's just sitting in place because I said I don't know how much of the dash has to come out to get the blower motor out, and who knows what else. So that's what we're doing today, or this video, probably spread over a few days again, is get the back seat out, check some wiring. My radio doesn't work, like there's no power to it, so see if it's a broken wire or a fuse, or if the radio even works at all. Get the back seat out. Yeah, just putter little jobs until I can get warmer weather to flush the engine and get that back together and running again. And then, yeah, really, I'm going to order a new carpet. I'm tearing the seats apart, which may be a separate video. Strip them all down. I can order new covers for them and probably padding and stuff. You can see the other one here. I'll show you. Hold on, run around. But underneath it's all pretty disintegrated, so I'll probably get new foam for the seats as well. My daughter works in an upholstery shop, so she's going to be able to help me out there putting these back together. But the first thing would be to strip these. So take the trim off and the leather or vinyl and clean it all up. I was hoping for a broadcast sheet under the seat. Sometimes that's where they put it. They put it into the factory when the car's built. Shows all the options it came with, stuff like that. Sometimes you'll find them under the seat, but I figured this seat's probably been out a few times before. Somebody's probably grabbed it. It's disintegrated. It's long gone. This back is a little better, but Still probably gonna put new foam on it. Take all the fog rings out. Replace this. This isn't bad. There's no holes in it, but it's just stiff and brittle. And if we get new front seats, let's get new back seats. Okay, back seat came out a lot easier than I expected. I'm noticing I got bolts here for seat belts, but there was no seat belt. I'm hoping in my box of parts there's the back seat belts, because I had the front seat belts in. I pulled them out, they're there. They're kind of faded in that, but they're complete. Back seat belts, I'm hoping somebody pulled them out and kept them in the box. You see the floors, it's dirty, all good and solid. That's the pump for the power top. It does work, but it needs the top itself. The framework's there, but the material's all gone. So I check to see if I have the back seat belts. This looks, it's just some undercoating, which is all good and solid. The only thing I did notice is right here, we got some holes there, so I'll have to weld that up. That's the first hole in the floor that I've really seen I have to fix. Doesn't look too bad. It's just stuff in the trunk. So yeah, so that should be easy enough to fix. Okay, just checking the electrical. There's my fuse panel there. Fuses look okay, little glass type. I'm gonna test them, but you can see how corroded they are up in the on the ends there. So I'm gonna pull them all out, clean them up. That'll be the first step. The other thing is, these here are for air vents. They're super, well, that one moves. This one doesn't move. And that's for these vents down by the feet. They actually open up to fresh air outside on both sides. You see one over there. So those will have to come out. Check those out. So I'm looking at my heater core. There we are. My heater core there. That's a pretty big, I don't know if the dash has got to come out to get that out or not. That's something I got to figure out. These cables here are for the heater controls, and I know they're stuck. The levers on the dash are stuck. So I'm going to pull these off and see if it's the cable that's stuck or it's stuck inside. But I got a really strong smell of mouse piss under here, so I'm guessing I'm going to take that whole heater box out and probably clean a giant mouse nest out of there and clean it up. And like I said, I'm probably leaking because I know it's under the dash. They got it all bypassed. Let's pull these hoses out. Oh yeah, there's stuff in there. That's gross. So yeah, that is not going to be a fun job, but now's the time to do it. When the car is all ripped apart, I can lay on the floor. No seats in the way. And like I said, I got the windshield's just sitting in place, so I have to take the whole dash out. The windshield have to come out, so the windshield is half out anyway, so now's the time to do this mess. I got stuff like this unplugged. I don't know what that goes to. Could be a cigarette lighter. Could be. It actually has a cigarette lighter. Lots of ashtrays and cigarette lighters in this for $67. But that's what we're working on now. So I'm going to remove the glove box so I can get in from here. That's just a cardboard liner. And then see what I can see. Start testing stuff. Like I said, pull those fuses. And see if we get some of my electrical working. And get rid of this really bad smell down here. I know stuff like I said, the radio doesn't work. Actually looks pretty gross up in here. Where's my light? Oh yeah, I gotta pull all that apart and clean that up. I have a parts car, so maybe some of those are better, but yeah, she looks really corroded up in there. Maybe I'll start with that, pulling all that apart. But no, the clock doesn't work. The blower motor doesn't work. These, oh, that sort of moves. This one doesn't move. The radio doesn't work. Like if I turn the key on, and then, yeah, so you got nothing. Oh, that's for the top. That works. Flashers. Okay, flashers work. DC gauge works. Alternator gauge. Don't know if my gas gauge works. I got a new sending unit in there, so it's probably wiring. Ground. I got no dash lights. Even if there's the headlight switch on this thing. There. Yeah. None of the dash lights light up. Yeah, I'll start pulling that apart and see what's plugged in, what isn't plugged in, and save my battery here. There's the 4 ways off. No. Yeah, my wipers. Oh, they made a noise, but they're not moving. So it sounds like you can see there's a draw from the gauge. You can hear them trying to move, but they're not. So the motor might be seized and be cleaned up. It's all the piddly stuff now. Engine training is usually a big thing. Well, that's more or less good. It looks like I got a dash light or there's some kind of switch up here for something. I don't know. Maybe that vent there is supposed to be a light in there. But it's not working right now. Nothing's working. Very little's working. Said flashers are working, power top's working, and headlights and parking lights come on, but no dash lights. What else we got here? Oh, I got a washer. I wonder if that's my squirter works. Let's see if that has to be on. No. Now the piddly, tedious stuff. That's disgusting. God. And then pulling that out. I guess maybe I'll start there. So that's what we're doing now. Just started emptying the glove box. And thermostat, which I just bought a new one, but who knows what that's like. Rubber bumper, hard as a rock, sits on the top of the fender for the hood. Looks like a rad drain. Various screws and nuts, a body plug. No idea what that is for. Some kind of rubber gasket. Found this, I don't know where it came from. It's for this car. PM27 is the Plymouth Fury. 27 stands for convertible. Shade COR red. Well, it's red interior, so might have been on a door card or a seat or something. There's in the glove box. And then you got this riveted to the glove box, supposed to keep track of your mileage or oil changes and stuff, but obviously no one's ever done that in this car. And look, I have a light in the glove box. Or I think it probably should be here, but it's probably fallen. Oh, no, it's right there. Okay, wow. That works. Said odd things work. Like I said, that works. Hardly anything in the dash works. If I open the doors, those lights by the ashtray there, they come on both sides. So some stuff works, but it's a matter of going through everything. Okay, This is underside of the dash. You can see the blue parts there. I guess that's where the dash lights come through. And then this little vent was a trouble light, which was this. As you can see, it's pretty rusty. Looks like the bulb's gone. Looks like you can't do this here, two-handed here. Looks like you can flick it on and off with this. To get my test light out, see if there's even power there, but I'm pretty sure the bulb's burned out. And I said these are the dash lights. So we'll check those, but that's the back's looking pretty crusty. I can probably clean it up, but I think I have a spare from the parts card that's a lot better shape. I'll have to take a look, but we'll set that aside for now. If you notice, I've been bagging the screws and I label the bags so I know where everything goes. I'll label that, you know, instrument cluster, top part or something. Just so I have the right screws in the right spots. But yeah, that's pretty gross and crusty. But like I said, it's our sure it's been leaking. Maybe from the dash or mice. Like I said, I can still smell mice in here. So I'll pull all this out because as you can see, it's pretty gross. Pull that off, clean it up. And like I said, I got to get behind there anyways to see what's working and not working. This is going to be the fun stuff. Ugh. Alright, next thing to do is I've got all the screws out with this trim piece, but there's stuff like this knob for the clock adjustment is still there, and you need a tiny flat screw to go in the end of that to undo that knob, and to take these knobs off for the heater controls. You look underneath, tiny little Allen keys. So I'll pull those out and I'll put those pieces in with this bag I made up for dash trim stuff, which is screws and stuff. Keep it all together because I have a habit of losing stuff. So that'll get this cover off. Yeah, oh yeah, it's just disgusting. And then we can get at the stuff behind electronics, 67, the electric stuff, and see what's obviously corroded up, what's salvageable, what isn't. So clean that up. Just start testing for power, but get everything out of the way first. So that's what we're doing now. Well, it's all in one piece. One little broken corner there. But other than that, I mean, filthy. It's all one piece. We can clean that up and put that back in. I'm guessing that tape's like, see a little block off plate for there. I think that was for the switch for the air conditioning, or on the hard tops they had a rear vent, which is actually a blower motor for the back window. Went right there. But being convertible, I don't have any of that. So that goes there. Now I'm gonna take all this out. As you can see, though, it's just disgusting. There's the radio. It doesn't turn on or anything. Might not even be plugged in at the back. I don't know. All my switches. And that's all steel. So to get at those, might have to come in from underneath, which doesn't look fun. But I'm just going to start pulling everything apart so I can clean and test it. And we'll go from there. I'm going to pull the radio next. You can see the speaker in the dash. And because that's the only place for a speaker there, and in the middle of the back seat, which we can't see now, was the only place for a speaker in this thing because, well, it's only got an AM radio, but I mean, even when I have FM, I don't think it even had stereo in 67. I think it was a little later than that, like 68, 69, for you actually got stereo in a car. But I got one speaker. And it said even the speaker, the cover in the back, there's not even a speaker in it. But there's a cardboard glove box there. Take that out. Oh yeah, you can see mouse poop in there. Top of the heater core, that's all got to come out. I think the whole dash might have to come out. If I'm going to do it properly, these nuts here were holding on the dash pad on the top. So I'll pull those out, and so I'll take this dash pad off and replace it with the one I got from the parts car. It has a crack in it, but it's a lot better than this one. This one's really cracked and busted up. It's brittle too. So I'm going to, the other one I might recover it anyways, just to be safe, but it's better shape to start with. But if it's slightly dried out, I might be better off to recover it right away. Alright, what's holding me up is the speedometer cable that screws into the back of the speedometer. I can't reach it, the steering column's in the way, and also because it's a column shifter, so an arm that goes from the steering column to the back of the cluster itself that moves the little needle from park, reverse, neutral, drive. It's a mechanical deal, and it's actually bolted on. So I have to get that undone, and it's looking like the only way I do is I drop the steering column. So didn't want to do that, but I mean, I'm this far, might as well. I got to get in there and clean everything up, and it just stick my head in there. All you can smell is mouse piss. It's just, it's, oh. So it's all got to come apart anyways. So that's next thing to do now, I guess, drop the steering column. Okay, finally got it out. Bit of a struggle to drop the steering wheel and that, but got it out, and then the cluster itself still wouldn't come out. I got the speedometer cable undone, but then just the wires like the bulbs, the interior lights, the dash lights, and then the wiring for various gauges and stuff. I disconnected the battery because, well, I kept hitting the power roof switch and kept trying to put it up, but also these are red power wires, and I didn't want them banging around loose because this is all metal dash. So I got that out. Radio still got to pull out. I think there's a couple of tiny screws in here that hold it in because it's still pretty solid. Yeah, not much to it. Oh, the light just died. Light just died. So anyway, it's not much to it. Once you pull that out, here's the cluster. Filthy. The 4 holes are where the dash lights go. This little part is the needle for the park, reverse, neutral. These two, I've read somewhere that your temperature gauge and your fuel gauge are both wired into this resistor here, or whatever the hell that is. And apparently these commonly go bad. There's a way to test them. I have to look up to figure out how to test them. But see, they're both wired into the same thing. And if they both don't work, then that's the problem. So I'm going to test that. I have a couple of spares again from the parts cars and that. See if I got a good one, and that'll give me my fuel gauge and temperature gauge working. And then the other side, I know the alternator gauge works. Hold that there. The alternator gauge works. You could see it fluctuating when I tried to use stuff. The clock doesn't work. And it's wired. The only wiring for the clock is this wire here, which is the negative side. So I'm not sure where it gets power. I'm not an electrical engineer or very good electrical in anything, but I might pull it off and just see if we can clean it up. But this is the gauge for the alternator, and it works. It isn't working, so I just clean it up, see what happens. Luckily, everything's labeled, stamped right in the steel. You know, red. These for the lights: tan, red, blue, light green, gray, blue. And then these wires here, blue for the fuel gauge, violet for the temperature gauge. Matches the wire coloring in there. So it should be easy to go back together. So just a matter of testing this relay or resistor or whatever the heck it is. And it's probably gone because I put about $50 for the gas in it and I removed the gas gauge. It's got a new sending unit and everything on it. So that's probably gone. So I get that fixed, then I'll have a temperature gauge, and if I can get the clock fixed, everything will work. Theoretically. Okay, the tearing apart the dash saga continues. We have pretty much everything out we can get out. I can pull those switches and that. Had to pull the glove box out, and the glove box is actually just cardboard. So it's kind of disintegrating as I pull it apart. So I have to rebuild that with something else. It smells like mouse pee anyway, so it's like probably better to get rid of that, but I'll use that as a template to try and build something. Got the radio out. I haven't tested it yet. It didn't work in the car, but I'm thinking it's only an AM radio, but it doesn't. I got it on off. I can feel it click. The buttons to change the location of the needle works. But here to change the frequency isn't working, so probably have to get that working, assuming I even use the radio. Not much point nowadays having an AM radio, but I don't want to put a newer aftermarket radio in the dash. I think it'll look good. If nothing else, I'll just leave that in there for looks and put a good stereo in the glove box. Or if I can get a factory AM FM, maybe that would be good, from the right vintage. Or I looked online, you can find, there's a place that takes old radios and they sell a kit. You solder it in to the existing radio and it makes it Bluetooth. You can play stuff through your phone. Maybe, we'll see. One step at a time. Radio's low priority, but I tear it apart, clean it up, and see if I can get it even working. So there's that. I'm about to take the heater core out because, like I said, I think it leaks, but it's just full of mouse house. It's just stuffed. The vents, the flaps that go back and forth won't move because they're C-solid, probably because it's full of stuff. So I've just unbolted everything, I think. I got unbolted under the hood against the firewall, so it should just slide out. And then I'll have to tear it apart. So we'll set you up for that, and we'll see how that goes. Well, it's coming out. Oh, quite the smell. A bit of antifreeze leaking out. And I gotta test that too to see if it even leaks, because it wasn't even hooked up under the dash, under the hood. But yeah, here it comes. So as you can see, it's just full, and on top it's all full of mice poop and everything. So I'm going to tear it apart and see what's inside. See if I can get everything. Like, these vents won't even move, they're C-solid with stuff inside, and who knows what else. So there's not much left underneath now. So the heater core went. Even, oh yeah, look at in here. That's full of mouse house stuff. Clean it all out. Give it a quick set. It stinks too. So we'll get that all cleaned up and put it all back together. So I'll come back to you when I get this heater box apart. Okay, I got the heater core out. I'm gonna start tearing it apart to see what's inside or how bad it is inside. I moved outside because my garage is full and it smells better out here. So I'm gonna set you up here and just start tearing this apart. Alright, there's the resistor. Doesn't look bad. But inside here you can see evidence of mice. The fan. Oh, I might be able to. Oh, there, I got that loose. Maybe I can get that working again. Fan, but it's just gross and disgusting in here. So there's the heater core. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'll get that out and test it. And there's the first step. This is supposed to be able to. Okay. Okay. It's starting to come. I'll have to redo these foam seal. Oh, they just disintegrated a touch. That's just nothing. Wow. That's the first step anyways. Now there's my heater core. Like I said, really packed in there with mouse house. That's still stuck in there if that comes out. That looks like it's coming out, but as you can see, it's just full of crud. Look at that. This just jam-packed. I need a garbage bag. Well, there it is. You can see it's just jam-packed full of crud. That's a vent that's supposed to be able to move, but it couldn't with all the stuff in there. So I'm going to take this somewhere and get it power washed. Take it into work. Power wash it out. Clean it up. Put it all back together. See if I can get that fan working. And pull this out. Get that tested. See if it leaks. Put it all back together. Get the heater core out. You can see where it's been leaking a little bit. I'm going to either take that into a rad shop and see if they can test it and fix it, or have another heater core I may pull apart and just to look at if it's in better condition, and take the best of the one anyways, the ones I have, take them in and have them check it to see if it's leaking, and use it, and then reassemble all this back together once I've cleaned all the mouse piss and shit out of it. So that's it for this episode. I'll get back to you when I get her all cleaned up and back together, hopefully.